Ain't no half stepping with Marcus J. Live from the den of Legacy Internet Radio. Thank y'all to everybody who is rocking with us. You've been rocking with us. Of course, we are rolling with y'all. We appreciate those folks who just spent the last 20 or 30 minutes or so listening to the interview that we did with our sister Tarvinia. We appreciate her for joining the show. But it's time to get some fun going in the studio. We got a huge cast of friends and family and loved ones here in the den with us, Legacy Internet Radio. And so what I'm gonna do, I normally get everybody introduced. I'm gonna do that tonight, but I'm gonna have a little bit more fun with it. I got a couple of cordless mics floating around the room. I'm gonna start with this dude who helps me make sure that everybody is properly taken care of. He's the doorman like Ralph. He's the bartender like Charlie. He's the utility player, Mr. 3375. What's going on, brother?
What's going on, man?
How you doing, man?
Doing good, man.
Appreciate you, brother.
You doing all right?
Hey, man, I'm making it happen, man. That's what I do.
Cool. Yo, y'all should see this room here.
Yeah, it's
here.
It's packed. It's packed.
Love this room here.
Keeping the mic moving around. Everybody, introduce yourself. Introduce yourself, sister.
This is Stacy from Twa After Dark. How you all doing?
Meow.
I heard about your show, girl.
It's good.
Keep it moving. Send a mic back there. Send a cordless mic back there. Okay. She don't want to say peace. All right. Keeping it around. Keeping it moving. All right. Who else we got? Lucia. What's up, brother?
Not much, man. What's going on?
I'm doing good, man. You see me multitasking, trying to
absolutely
trying to do 100 things at one time and whatnot. So it's good to see you, man.
Good to see you too.
Back in your home, brother.
Appreciate you.
Everybody say peace to Facebook Live. We live on
Hello.
Peace to Facebook
I love
Live.
you.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna start in this corner over here to my far left. Just introduce yourself into the mic, and then we're going to come all the way around. Everybody gets properly introduced. Go for it.
Okay. My name is Nicole Shante, and I'm an astrologer and clairvoyant.
Yes.
I'm Shay Martin. I'm a numerologist, an intuitive, and empath.
Absolutely.
I'm Laurel. I'm the Blissed Out Chef. I'm a spiritual chef.
Yes.
I'm Wendy, and I'm an artist, and I'm also a Reiki healer.
Yes.
Hi, this is Ashley, and I'm an angel communicator.
I'm Shayna. I'm a medium.
What's going on, family? How's everybody doing? Everybody good?
Fantastic.
Yeah. Wonderful.
Outstanding.
It's always great when we come together like this. Oh my God, I'm having a party in my head. Oh my God.
They don't have to stay in there.
Shayna, when are you not having a party in your head?
I know, right? I'm always having a party in my head. I love y'all. I genuinely, I can't say the word, but anyway, I really just really love y'all. Like everything from my heart chakra goes out to each and every one of y'all in here. I hold you all very dear to me. I'm very excited about my special guest tonight, Nicole. She's an amazing astrologer. Oh my goodness, her readings will just blow your mind. I'm so thank you so much for coming.
Thank you for the invite.
And Shay, I had a reading from this girl, and it literally changed my life. It was great. Her and these numbers. I'm just so fascinated about what you do because. One, I can't do it, but I just think that is so great. I'm just excited for all of y'all here. I'm happy to have Wendy in the house. Wendy, it's Wendy's first time to the radio, and she's a little shy, but we're gonna warm her up. Wendy is also an intuitive. She's psychic too. She just, she's a Reiki healer. She's all of that.
We want to congratulate you on your recent engagement.
Yes, Wendy just got engaged. Oh, and I love Laurel, the blissed out chef. She's gonna bring us some food in 2017.
Yes, she is.
I claim that food up in the radio station. And Ashley, I hold dear to my heart. I mean, oh my gosh, she's a sister. She's more than a lot. She's a lot to me. And Lucia, my brother. Well, I'm telling y'all, it's crazy when we get in the same room because things start happening and we don't know how they do.
Every time, every single time.
Every time. So something weird happens, we're like, oh my God, this is just retarded. But I love it. Thank y'all for being here so much. Thank y'all. Thank you for sharing your gifts, for being just giving, just for the spirit of giving, not wanting anything in return, just because y'all love what you do and you want to share it with the universe. And this is our platform, the Lightworker segment that Marcus so gracefully gave to us. Thank you, Marcus.
You all are very
for giving us a voice.
You all are very welcome, and I appreciate the energy and the spirit that is always here when you guys come. You know, I'm one who is very steadfast in this room being a room of inclusion, and everybody who comes through the door gets a hug. Everybody that comes through the door gets love, you know, and I want to make sure that when you come here and you meet people here that you didn't know before you came here, when you see them outside in the street, you refer to them as my family. That's my family. Because that's how I feel about everybody that comes into Legacy Internet Radio, and that's the reason why I greet folks the way I greet folks. So I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you, and I'm looking forward to an outstanding show. We've got representatives from the clairvoyant community. We've got representatives from Legacy Internet Radio here. You know, we've got Twi After Dark that's here in the building with us, along with, you know, the Ain't No Half Stepping with Marcus J. Regulars. Our phone number, if you want to come and join us on our special holiday show, 804-402-2893. So rock with us, y'all, because we are certainly going to roll with y'all. So I look forward to bringing my sister. My sister Shay is going to join the show. She's going to lead this portion of the show. We're going to have a discussion on numerology. So let's do it.
Awesome. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you having me.
Absolutely.
I want to say thank you to you and everyone else that's here. And definitely give a shout out to all my Facebook friends and Instagram friends. I love you. So many beautiful ladies out there from all around the world. I really appreciate you. So I definitely want to get through some of the basics first and kind of give a foundation for what numerology is. I hear a lot of people saying that they've researched into it or been to a class like Shayna mentioned, and that they really were lost or they were kind of put to sleep. So we're going to get some of the basics out of the way, and then we're going to kind of get into Shayna's information and Marcus's information. Shayna and I did a reading, but it was only like a 15-minute session, so we barely scratched the surface. So we're going to go over some good things tonight. Basically, numerology is a tool to read patterns of energy. It is an ancient science that examines the meaning of numbers. Everything that we know is energy, we are energy, and all energy can be organized into one of 9 categories. Apparently there was a
Marcus is killing the bugs up in here.
Nicole,
Marcus, it's Hindu
like
people
bugs,
in here.
Marcus.
They don't kill the bugs.
That could have been a lucky fairy.
Yes, you're upsetting Shay.
I'm sorry.
It probably got away.
But if I flew onto your nose, you would probably pop me too.
Okay. Okay, so everything is energy, and all energy can be organized into one of 9 categories. That's the numbers 1 through 9. Once we understand the meaning of each category, we can then organize the energies we perceive and read the patterns like a book. So that's basically numerology's job, is to give us a format to be able to read patterns of energy, just like any other system of divination. But this is extremely ancient because, before we had anything else, we basically had to organize and keep track of our food and supplies. So this was early survival skills. That's how numbers started to come about. So this is really developed over the ages, of course, into mathematics, and also it is the foundation for all of the technology that we enjoy today. All technology we use is based on patterns of numbers, and every day we are either working for numbers to put in our bank accounts or using numbers to buy the things that we need to live. Everything can be reduced numerically, including the letters in your name. Did you know that the energy vibration of your name reveals what your innate talents and skills are? Your name is basically representing your soul energy. All the lifetimes that your soul has had on this earth, and everything that you have learned in the categories 1 through 9, which are basically 9 subjects of Earth School. So one of the benefits of numerology for me is that it really helped me to get clear on what the meaning of life is. It's very simple. It's not anything complicated. It's just learning. That's it. And everything we're doing from the moment that we're born to the moment that we pass on is basically taking in information, processing it, and putting it back out into the world. We're just learning constantly. It's the one thing we're doing nonstop. So, and that doesn't stop until we pass on. So that's basically the meaning of why we're here. So if we approach everything else in our life from that standpoint, it all makes so much more sense. So yeah, it's like, numerology has given me a lot of insights that have really changed my life. And one of the reasons why I needed it so much is because who I was innately, which is represented by my name, was a lot different than what I came here to fulfill, which is the result of my name and date of birth combined. So your name is basically your innate energies, everything that you learned in your most recent lives. So you can have a lot of one energy from coming from your last lives. You did a whole lot of one thing, you got a lot of this, basically like what your master's degree is now in a certain subject. And that's basically what I call your innate energies. One of those aspects of that is what I call your superpower. So, and that's the most frequently repeating number in your name. Every letter in your name can be, translated into a number. And then you add the numbers together and you get the reduced number of your name. But there's so much more to your name than that. So many times we look at a person's name, we're kind of just looking at that reduced number. But that really only tells the story of what's unfolding and what you're learning now in this life. If you don't really understand what your innate energies are when you came into this life, then things can be a little confusing. So basically the numbers of your date of birth, on the flip side, are all about the circumstances of your life. That governs everything from who your parents are, where you were born, and pretty much every single thing that happens. So you think about the date that you were born begins the entire trajectory of every single thing. If you think about it, one different little thing in your life, even little things from day to day can just shift the trajectory. So your date of birth really represents all of your circumstances, a lot of what your challenges and your opportunities are as well. So when we look at the reduced number of that gives us the overall information on who you are in society and what your path is. And they call that traditionally the life path. I call the reduced number of your name and your date of birth, I call those keys. They're two keys to unlocking your purpose. Because when you add those numbers together, you get your overall purpose energy. And we're going to start with kind of some of the innate energies and look at those. And I really wanted to kind of get into Marcus and Shayna, like both of your information, to kind of use them as examples.
Just open me up like a book.
I know you don't mind.
Do Marcus first, because he's just really into this paper right now.
I'm really excited to know what Marcus, was thinking, because he opened up the information I gave him, and he was like, "Oh, something's jumping out at me right away."
Don't even.
Well, you want me to tell you now what it is?
You can go right ahead. Sure.
Okay. Anybody who really knows me knows that I have 3 numbers that are very personal to me. My favorite number since I was a young person is the number 6. I've always been drawn to the number 6. When I got older and I started studying different ways of life and religions and things of that sort, I learned that in the Nation of Gods and Earths, who we had on the show a few weeks ago, the number 6 represents equality. And I had already loved the number for a long time. Like when I would play sports, I always tried to get the number 6 and that sort of thing. I never really understood why. But because 3s and 9s are cousins to 6 or friends of 6 or related to 6, divisible with 6, I've always been fond of basically 3, 6, and 9. And so when I opened up the page, the first thing that I saw was, I don't know what it means. I said it was gibberish, and Shayna got mad at me for saying it was gibberish, but I don't know what it means. I'm sure you can tell me. But the first thing that I see at the top of the page is a number 6. It's the first thing I see, right? So now you have my attention.
Yes, and there's a 9 in there too.
And then at the bottom, that's at the top. But then at the bottom, there's a triangle. And at the top of the triangle is the 9, and at the bottom left of the triangle is a 6, and in the bottom right, of the triangle is a 3. And so when I looked at that, I really didn't even really need to look any further because I wanted you to tell me what it all meant. So having said, and then I also thumbed through and I saw the word superpower, and I didn't need to hear anymore. You said my superpower is, and I was like, word, she's telling me I got superpowers for real?
People love to hear about their superpower.
I mean, are you going to tell me
Everybody has them.
that
Jay, you about to get us in trouble. Lord have mercy.
Are you telling me like I'm gonna learn how to
Told
fly
Marcus.
one day, or am I gonna be able to like Jedi mind trick a cat? I mean, what are we talking about here? So I'm having a little fun with you, but I'll let you.
No,
I'll let
wonderful.
you. No, seriously, I'll let you go ahead and tell me, because when we did this, in the interest of full disclosure, so that the listeners can understand exactly what we've done. Shay and I communicated, prior to today, and she's put together this wonderful, wonderful packet of information, and she's done the same for Shayna. And she's, asked what my full name was, which I won't share on air what my full name is. The folks in the room, I'll let you guys know, but I won't share my full name. But I'm always open about my date of birth.
You got a warrant.
No warrants. Trust me on that one. But I do have haters.
I promised I wouldn't tell.
I do have haters and trolls. So, but June 3rd, 1974 was the date that I was born, and you guys asked me to get with Mom's J and find out what time. And so she texted me back.
That's in the next segment, Marcus. That's
in the
why our
next-
astrology
Okay,
section.
Okay, that's the next segment. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So
You learning a whole lot about yourself today.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm gonna stop talking and let Shay kind of pick up here, sister. So tell me about myself.
Excellent. Well, first of all, I'm just going to give a brief overview of the 3 basic energies. So
Okay.
in the universe, there are 3 basic energies.
Okay.
There's energy that attracts, energy that connects, and energy that expands. That's the most fundamental way to look at it. So 1 through 9 is basically 3 sets of 3. We have the kind of like you mentioned a minute ago, you said that the 6 and the 9 are kind of like relatives or sister energies. So there's 3 sets that are relative to each other. 1, 5, 7, those are the mental energies. Then we have 2, 4, 8, those are the physical energies. And then we have 3, 6, 9, those are the spiritual energies. So this really does correspond to a lot of what we know from, religion and spirituality. There's, it's mind, body, and spirit, mental, physical, and spiritual energies. And we're all working within these in our life. So 1, 5, and 7, these mental energies, these are representations of our individual experience. This is the ego experience. This is where we learn independence. This is the separation from the oneness that we innately all are. We come here, we're here to specifically have an experience where we're kind of isolated and separated. We perceive ourselves to be separate from everyone else. And of course, we know the truth, but this is still a very valid experience to have, and this is what helps us to grow further as souls. So these are considered to be more introverted energies. Of course, it's because it's very, you're in your mind, you're very thoughtful, analytical. Then moving on to the physical energies, this is where, as opposed to the independent energy of the mental, the physical energies are about interdependence, learning to work with others. So as opposed to just kind of working to be on your own, and be the leader of the pack and do your own thing, you're actually learning to build and construct and work with others in the physical world in order to create something that's going to last physically. So relationships are a huge, huge part of this. This teaches us the value of our relationships, and if we want to be successful, then it is dependent on the quality of our relationships with other people. And then we get into the spiritual energies, 3, 6, and 9. So those are, of course, incredibly spiritual. This is a extroverted energy, where as opposed to the independent and interdependent, this is more dependent, and not dependent in a negative way, but it's because this is where we experience the oneness. We are aware and we know that we are one with all people, all things. So people with this type of energy, or they're working within this, are definitely more extroverted, very creative. It covers all the creative arts. It's everything that we need in order to express ourselves in the most honest and authentic ways possible. So with that being said, I'm just going to kind of jump into Marcus, and we're going to kind of, I just have to say, like, there are so many aspects of this information that we can get into in a profile. And I've spent the last, like, at least 4 years designing my own profile.
That's great.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I started doing my research. I mean, of course, like all of us here, like I've been into the spiritual, modalities for many years and looking through each one and, kind of trying to find my niche. Exactly.
Where you resonate, what you resonate with.
Exactly.
I understand that. I'm on that journey myself.
You do. You do. And when I started reading into numerology, really the first time it didn't stick out to me as much as it did when I came back to it a few years later after having some life-changing experiences. And when I came back to it, I was kind of blown away, and I was like, I feel like I've done this before. Like, it just innately made sense to me. But the more I researched, the more I realized that it's not very comprehensive for everybody, and people don't really talk about it as much as they do astrology, even though astrology is just as deep, and I mean, there's just so much to it, you can't just summarize it briefly, but people at least are more familiar with it. So really my goal was to try to formulate a profile and come up with a way to share the information so that it will be easy to understand and very practical to use. I just really wanted it, when I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, this can like change your entire life, this can help people to live better. Just like Lucia and I were talking last night, we were saying like people don't have enough of a foundation and a format to really like build their life on. There's a lot of confusion in the world, and there's so much conflict innately, and people are competing against each other. We really don't have something to kind of just give us this clear perspective of like, who am I? What is my purpose here? I mean, that's basically what we need to know to start with. So anyways.
It's great information. I'm enjoying it. I'm learning so much about
You're not falling asleep yet.
No. It's good that you know that about. It's good that you know that about yourself, though. Maybe not just you, but the information you kick out. It's good that you know that sometimes people fall asleep on it.
Well, it can be pretty dry. Like, I mean, I nerd out over it. I get so excited
because it's
like,
your
so
thing.
People are like, yeah, exactly. So I recognize that I need to try to make it as fun and exciting as possible.
I do understand. It's good. I'm entertained, so I'm good.
Thank you.
I'm learning.
Well,
Mark is definitely learning.
Marcus is. I know, because he's like waiting. I've been promising this.
He's spoiled, girl. You get a reading every time we come up in here.
Well, from what I looked into, he could be doing some readings, but we'll talk about that in 1 second.
Oh my God.
Marcus, you're a psychic too.
No, I'm not.
We'll talk about that in a second.
Maybe like a Sith or something, but I'm not a psychic.
There's different ways for these things
Jedi
to manifest. Some Jedis.
She already said you got superpowers.
I'm gonna use the Force. I'm having fun.
Good. I'm really glad. Well, so one of the reasons why numerology helped me so much was because I was pretty confused growing up. Like, I was innately an extremely extroverted person, and all I wanted to do was just be artistic and creative, and I just wanted to just talk all the time and dance and play and draw pictures. Regular school was not for me. I had
You sound like me, girl.
I believe it. Yes.
That's what I used to do, girl. Yes,
I was kind
label
of an
ADD and all
version
that.
of this. Yeah. Okay.
We getting
Too dreamy.
We getting a hit from our brother Tavon, who hosts our Saturday show. I got something to say. He's listening to us. He's actually watching us right now on Facebook Live.
Hi, Tavon. Hello.
He's saying great topic, good information. So
Wonderful.
He's
Thank
enjoying it.
you. Excellent. Well, yeah, so I was very confused when I was growing up because everything I wanted to do was creative and artistic. I took dance classes. I was like, I want to be an actress. I want to be an artist. Every turn in my life really kind of shut me down on that, though. I was able to do it to some degree, but then it would just shut me down. The circumstances of my childhood were all about, like, making me be quiet, making me have to go within myself.
Yeah.
Just really oppressing me in a lot of ways. Repressing that self-expression that was very natural to me. So it was confusing because, as a young adult, I was like, well, why can't I just do the things that I feel like I'm good at? It doesn't make sense. And why have all these weird things happen in my life? I had a lot of like unusual experiences, like paranormal kind of stuff, a lot of weird metaphysical, haunting kind of things. And also I moved like 28 times by the age of 15. Tons and tons of change.
Really?
Change.
Is that hyperbole? Or you real talking about you moved 28
I
times?
literally counted that, and more, and I remember actually moving 28 times.
I mean, because that's literally twice a year from the time you were born.
That is on average 6 months. Sometimes I moved more than one time within a month, though. So there were,
that is
pretty crazy. I'm just like,
Yeah.
how does any of this make any sense? Like, how do I make sense of this?
Can you share why? Was there a reason why?
Well, I had a military mother who was used to moving and had
That's what you
some
did.
issues, and then I was also in foster homes on and off, so that counts those times too.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
bouncing from foster homes and things like
But
that.
that's still moving, so that's
Oh
still.
yeah. Anytime you pick your life up and go somewhere else, but I couldn't really make sense of this, and this is where numerology helped me, because when I looked at my profile, I realized that my innate energies are it's 3, 6, and 9. I got tons of those numbers. If you look at my pie chart, which is part of what I do in a profile, and I'll kind of show everybody in the room here what Marcus's looks like so you can get an idea. I only do the pie chart like this to look at your innate energies.
Show the TV.
Kind of show it over there too. So my pie chart is way like off. I mean, the majority of it is 3, 6, and 9, all the spiritual energies, and very, very little mental and physical. So I was like really extreme. And then, but my purpose numbers, my purpose energies were all mental, completely mental. So, and the purpose numbers are the reduced number of my name, which is a 7. And then the reduced number of my date of birth, which is a 7, and then add those together, and it's 14 equals 5. So 2 7s and a 5, those are all mental energies. And 5 especially, there's no number out of all the numbers that represents change more than the number 5. And I also had it in my circumstances in my date of birth, like multiple 5s. So I'm like, well, this explains why I move so much. And 5 is what teaches us knowledge. So what better way to gain knowledge than sorry, I took that from me. What better way to gain knowledge than experience and having to go through different kinds of situations, So I met a lot of different people and had a lot of different things happen. So, and those 7s, those are highly metaphysical type of energies. It's actually the number of numerology.
That's my favorite number, 7. That's your number too? You are a 7.
It's your number 2, right, Shay?
Huh?
It's your number 2, right?
Number 2?
7.
Oh.
That's my favorite number.
Okay, well, I have 2 7s.
You're a 7?
My name is a 7, and my date of birth is 7. She's also
I'm a
7
7 like
You're a 7?
The exact same date of birth.
So,
Girl, are we all 7?
so if you did this sheet,
I'm an
this
8.
number would be 7 for you.
We're going to figure it out. We're going to figure yours out on the break.
Which
We're going to figure it out on the break.
This number would be 7 for me, and this number would
We're going to figure out your life number on the break since y'all in here.
All right, so here's what I want to get to. Here's what I'm going to get to, because I want to start streamlining some of the stuff. So this is the primary number, correct?
That's the reduced number of your name. That's all about your soul energy and what the next step is for you in this life, what you're here to learn.
Okay, so my number, as I mentioned earlier, was 6, and I connected with that number as a young person, and that's the number. And there's
Part of your purpose numbers, yes.
There's absolutely no way that you could have known that because I didn't tell you that, and it's not something that I openly share. But
I
people
could have guessed it
but
because
people who know me
sure
may have known that. You know what I mean? So now there's a second primary number. Is that an accurate way to describe this?
reduced number of your date of birth. Yes,
Okay.
that's another key to opening the door to your purpose.
And so in my case, it's 30.
Exactly. Yes.
Okay.
So those are both. I mean, I wasn't very surprised when I looked at your profile after just knowing just the basics about you, really, because your innate energies are primarily mental. That means you're thoughtful, analytical. You enjoy having time to yourself. You're kind of, the Lone Ranger type. I mean, you definitely think things through. You primarily approach things intellectually. And then all of your purpose energy is totally spiritual. It's all extroverted. You're here to share yourself. You're specifically, when you have the mental energies as your innate and then the spiritual energies as your purpose, you are here specifically to share your innate knowledge and wisdom with the world in as many different varieties or creative ways as possible. And you have the full spectrum. You have a 6 and a 3, and then your overall purpose is a 9. So 3, 6, 9, all the spiritual energies. So, I mean, that governs everything from the fact that, I mean, you could do so many things with that, really, you know, but it's obviously no surprise that you are you have your own radio show and you have made all of this happen because you're passionate about, you know, talking about real subjects. I mean, 3 is what I call, it teaches us the power of expression, specifically honest expression. You know, so real talk, you know, it's just like, it matches up so perfectly. One of my favorite phrases, Exactly. So, I mean, it really wasn't a big surprise to see that, but, you know, it's very powerful. Similar to me, you have very powerful dualities of energy. Your innate energy is on one polarity and your purpose energy is on the other. So you're working within these dynamics. You know, sometimes you need to be by yourself. Sometimes you want to be with people.
Yeah. No, that's real. That's real talk.
That's real talk right there. Thank you. That's a compliment.
Anything in these numbers that can help me explain why I'm so damn grumpy?
Marcus, you just born grumpy.
You probably have to leave that to the astrology.
Okay, so you gonna tell me?
She gonna hook you up with that.
You gonna hook me up in the next segment.
Just like everything else, the numbers also have their negative aspects. Like there's some of the negative aspects of the mental energies is that people can be predisposed to being cynical, critical, you know, overly analytical, cold, calculated. You know, I'm dealing with 2 large polarities like as well, like you are. So like I like to say sometimes I can run really hot and cold, you know.
That's definitely
I'm just like, I love you, and then I'm just like, don't talk to me. I need to be by myself right now. I don't want to talk to you anymore. I don't like you.
That's definitely me. Ain't no half stepping on Marcus J. Live from the Den, Legacy Internet Radio. We're talking to our sister Shay, and we're talking through some numerology, and she has just helped me kind of understand a little bit about who I am and my personality based on the numbers, and it's been outstanding and fun. In the time that we have left in the segment, we've got some information on our sister Shayna. Shayna and I both submitted some stuff to you, so we've kind of gone through me. In the time that we have left in the segment, let's talk about Shayna and see if we can get some information on her. And then in the next segment, we're going to talk about astrology, and we're going to get similar information on astrology.
Hi. Yes.
Everybody paused for a minute. Like, we don't know what's happening.
Oh God, Marcus getting on my everlasting nerve.
That's one of those moments, and I always like to call it out when we have a production moment that gets kind of verbalized. That's all that was. So the listeners in the Facebook Live, folks, ain't nothing happy y'all need to worry about. That's
yes, you can start with me, Shay, if you want to.
Say anything more about you, Marcus? I got one last little piece.
Please say it.
Absolutely.
Okay. I want you to look.
You
at
could
your,
cut mine short.
So these are just snippets of the profile that I designed, and one of the things that I designed for the date of birth shows your growth cycles. So basically, from the time that we're born, we're cycling through the energies 1 through 9, all the way until we pass on. And so these year cycles, you know, they govern what we're doing, and they tell us, you know, what the energy is ripe for. Like, this is a great year for you to do this. So when we keep going through these until we kind of reach our purpose cycle, which is kind of what I like to refer to it as, where we really step into our purpose and we're fulfilling that all the way. So this is your chart, and you can see here where I indicated that this is where you're at right now. This year was a 9 year for you.
Does this mean that I'm going to live till I'm 109?
At least, yes. So if you get one of these, it kind of guarantees you're going to live at least that long.
Okay.
That's not true, but okay. I can't really promise that.
I was about to say, man, you know something
I said so confidently, too, didn't
you really, you really did. Like, you had me for a second. Like, for real, you live to 109? Okay, well, okay.
But yeah, so you can see here that this was a 9 year for you. 2016 is a 9 year. So there are the overall cycles that we're working within with the years, and then you have your personal cycle. So your personal cycle is matched up at this point, and so is mine. This has both been a 9 year for both of us. So that means that in a 9 year, you're at the final stage of your cycle. It's usually a time to evaluate the last 8 years of your life and reflect upon what you've accomplished so far. opportunity to take everything to the next level of understanding. It's the fruition of everything that you've been doing in the last 9 years. And when we can approach a cycle from a place of consciousness and awareness that the energy is ripe for us to begin something new and to set goals, I'll tell you what, like, it's magical and unbelievable. So this last 9 years for me has been powerfully transformational, and I can't even believe how different my life is. And literally, like, at this time 9 years ago, I was just about to lose my job as a flight attendant. And
you were a flight attendant? Oh, that was my dream job.
It was really cool.
I used to want to do that.
It was called MaxJet Airways. It was all business class airline, and we only flew to one destination. It was London, Stansted.
So you just flew to London and back?
That was my last 9 year, and that was the most crazy year ever. I got that job, and I had all kinds of weird things happen. It was all designed to open me up to the next cycle of fulfilling my purpose. But anyways,
let's get some love to some Facebook Live. Some Facebook Live love to our sister Desiree, who's checking us out.
Hi, Desiree.
Thank you for checking us out, sister. She's been supporting Ain't No Half Step on Marcus J since the beginning. So we got a lot of love for you, sis, for real. Thanks for checking us out.
Wonderful. So this next year for you, Marcus, is 1 year. This is the beginning of a whole new cycle. Yes, exactly. It sets the stage for the next 9 years of your life. One chapter has ended and exciting new opportunities await you. It's a great time. Since it's a mental energy, it's a good time to be reflecting on yourself internally, taking the time to think about who you are, what your purpose is in the world. If you already are resonating with your purpose, it's time to make your plans to take it to a whole nother level. One really teaches us the power of consciousness. It's that time for us to really expand ourselves and to open our minds to something new. It never ends, there are infinite levels of consciousness that we can experience, and as long as we want to be succeeding in our lives, we just keep taking it to the next level. So this is your opportunity. It's going to be a good 9 years for you, I can tell.
Well, I've been saying for a long time, particularly as it relates to Legacy Internet Radio, that 2017 is going to be a banner year for us.
Excellent.
And, we're coming up on we have 5 years with the show, but 4 years coming up with the station in March. And, we're doing Legacy Internet Radio TV coming up here soon. Lucia, you know a little bit about how the TV thing works, because we know you just did your TV show.
Yes, the light of Lucia.
So we're gonna, we're looking to do some things here, in the den. So 2017 is definitely going to be a good year for us. So I'm glad to hear that I'm on the right track.
Doing great, yes.
And I appreciate it. Thank you for
Wonderful.
I feel kind of guilty that we can't really go too deep into it on the air, but one day you might get a call from me and say, let's meet at Brewers Cafe. plug for my man AJ. Let's meet at Brewers Cafe and have some coffee, and we really jump into that. Because
I would love to.
I think that, especially since you told me that, let me see what I took from this. I got superpowers.
That's right.
I'm going to live till I'm 109.
You and Shane have the same superpower, dude.
For real?
Oh,
Yep,
please,
number one.
don't
Both of you
tell
have
them
the
that.
superpower.
We like the Wonder Twins.
Right.
You like the Wonder Twins? Yeah, the Wonder Twins. Yeah, so we got a few minutes left in the segment. Jump in and kind of give us some information on our sister Shayna.
Definitely.
Just the keynotes, not too much.
Oh, sure, sweetheart.
You can read me. You already know.
It's great. It's great to look at Shayna's profile also, because it's a little bit different. It shows us a little bit of how things can be. So your innate energies, like I said, are very similar to Marcus's. You know, the same superpower number one, and then you also. The mental energies are your primary energy, but if you look at your pie chart, which you have not gotten out of your folder here.
I'm scared to open it, girl. Don't judge me. I'm the only psychic that hates to be read. I'm the only side that don't like to be read.
I understand. Well, you're pretty balanced, What this shows, though, is that your primary innate energies are mental, And that even though I know that you're a very extroverted person, you know, it really does say that initially you will be introverted because you are very thoughtful. You know, the more mental someone is, oriented in those energies, the more that they're likely to walk into a room and kind of stand back first and kind of assess the situation. I mean, you're kind of reading people too. I mean, the mental energies are kind of like make you like a little bit of an antenna. You're kind of walking around like a radio like signal, picking up on energy, which is why you need to have that time to yourself. It's very important to process. You know, you're like sifting through all the information you gathered from the day and you let go of what you don't need anymore. So definitely the energies of being predisposed to being psychic for sure. Clairvoyant, clairaudient. And that's why I was kind of saying that about Marcus, because he has a lot of that, you know, and sometimes people don't choose to use those as modalities. Many times they're so innate to someone that they don't recognize that that's anything other than normal for them. They don't distinguish it as being some kind of psychic modality. So,
Right.
But nonetheless, you know, it is.
That's great to know.
So yeah, those are your innate energies, and then what you're here for, represented by the reduced number of your name and your date of birth. You're like I am. You have doubles, so you have 2 number 8s. Those are earth energies. So, and you already came into this life with a good amount of the physical earth energies. You know, you're pretty balanced already. You're here very specifically to work with others, to be able to manifest. It's that interdependence that I spoke about before. Your work with others and your relationships are extremely important, and eventually you are here to help guide people to live a better life. Your innate energies are a lot of knowledge and wisdom. When you add those 8s together, you get a 1 + 6 is 7, and that's another mental energy.
That's my favorite number. 7's my favorite number.
It's usually how it works, though. People will have a number that resonates with them.
It's
I saw
always
the
been my
7
favorite number.
everywhere before I knew it was one of my numbers.
Wow.
So
I didn't know
that's the
that.
overall purpose. So you're actually here, as opposed to like Marcus and I, we're here to do something other than our innate energy. You're here to ultimately take yourself to an even higher level of your innate energies, and by way of the physical realm, which really indicates that you're the type of person that can bring people together and create some type of an organization where people
I do it all the time.
You do. You really do. I mean, like, that's why we're all here together.
I'm so blessed to be able to do that.
Oh, this is a blessing. But so ultimately, you're going to be helping people through the wisdom that you have gained from all of the life experiences that you've had, and you're going to help them physically live a better life.
I am.
And you are already doing that, and you're just going to keep doing that more and more and more. It's just beautiful.
Thank you, Shay. I needed to hear those kind words.
Oh, of course. And the last thing about you, you know, is your year information. So this has been a 3-year for you.
Yes, it has been.
3-year for me too.
Girl, we riding on the same
Of
wave.
course.
Me and Ashley always vibe.
That's how it works. So yeah, a 3-year for you. Let's see. A 3-year really is the first stage out of the numbers 1 through 9 where you're getting to reap some of the benefits of the hard work that you've been putting in, you know, because it's an expansive energy. So next year is going to be a lot different for you. But, you know, in the 3-year, this is a time to, let's see. Yes, it's the perfect time for you to shine and be you.
Okay.
Be you, and
I feel that.
Express yourself. Really, the key indicator for number 3 is expression. I mean, that's really what it ultimately teaches us. Honest and authentic expression, where we're really like going within ourselves and we're drawing out the really powerful good things about who we are, and we're sharing that fearlessly in the world. You know,
Fearlessly. That
That's
is
right.
my word. And every day I wake up, I'm like, I'm going to do this fearlessly.
excellent.
Every
You're doing
single day.
so well with this already. You
Because
really
it could be
are.
really scary out here.
It
Seriously.
certainly can be. You know, creativity, optimism, affirmations, humor, flirtation, laughter, art, music, vision. These are all like keywords from the 3.
Marcus feels some type of way about that flirtation because I am a big flirt. I can't help it.
You are.
Ashley.
Wonderful. People love that though. So next year is a bit of a different energy, still very positive.
The 4, right?
4 is going to draw you back to your foundation. So it's going to say to you, okay, well, you've made a lot of progress so far, but now it's time for you to kind of really look at what you've built up so far and assess the things that you want to keep and the things you need to let go of. Let's get your foundation even stronger so that once you get to your 9 year, you're going to be super solid. So a 4 is definitely a powerful earth energy. It's the energy that governs your body more than any other number, 1 through 9. So this is a time for you to really make progress and steps towards treating yourself as good as possible physically and taking more steps. And we were kind of briefly talking about our diet and everything, and it's like it's a good year for you to make dietary changes.
Oh, great.
Forward. Yeah, and you'll feel
because I'm throwing away everything in my refrigerator for the new year. So that just makes so much sense. Thank you, Shay.
Of course.
She's such a good psychic. Oh my gosh.
I appreciate you. Well, you know, just briefly, like about my readings, I usually start off with this information and then I kind of go into more the intuitive and use the oracle cards. By that time, I usually start feeling someone's energy, like empathically. I'll kind of like literally feel what their heart chakra feels like. If there's any blockages or anything, I just feel it, you know, and I can usually like read a lot into what's happening with them from that. And then sometimes just from the information that I'm sharing and for giving them a format to let it out, I can feel the energy dissipate, and it's almost like a healing session. And so, that's... Anybody have any questions?
I see a few people in here who going to want a healing session.
So this is so amazing because I'm also a 3, and I was just planning on starting my new little physical activities.
Excellent.
You know what I'm saying? So the question, though, is I have heard, and I would like for you to confirm or deny,
okay,
that your year doesn't necessarily start on January the 1st, the beginning of the lunar, the SAR year, but it starts on your birthday. So is that true?
I've kind of seen both mentioned. Most of the time in my research, it started at the new year. So I've kind of asked the question myself with a lot of the numerology that I've done. I've varied in ways because I was drawn to by my guides. I haven't gotten a clear answer on that. For me, it feels like it starts at the beginning of the year, and that's usually what I go by. But if it feels different for you, you should go with that.
When we are I can agree with that. But it's, when we're born, we're born into a year, correct? Mm-hmm. So that year is just kind of limited. So like if you were, so I'm born in April, so I would just have 8 months of being a 7. Because I was born at a 7, so 8 months to be a 7. But then somebody who was born in December will only have, 28 days of being whatever number there is. So then she would only have a couple of more days left. So I'm just wondering if.
Well, that's why starting at the new year works best. I think that's why they do it, because then you have a full entire year of that year cycle for you.
So when the year starts. I'm just thinking if we give birth to a baby, it's when I was born on April 26th, was I born a 7, or doesn't happen until, I don't want to negate the children.
Here, this is the growth cycles chart, and the year that you come into, that is going to, of course, be the reduced number of your date of birth. So like Shayna, came into on an 8 year, and then by 1987, that's when she has her first 1 year. And then she's just going to keep cycling on that pattern for the rest of her life, basically.
Put that in the frame.
Thank you.
Framing that in the house.
So it's just part of the profile. But, traditionally, it starts January 1st. That's when the year starts.
Well,
I haven't got the message to try it any other way.
So I just start with the 1st. My birthday on the 27th, so I'm going to just start with the 1st. Yeah, I can feel that. I can see both.
I have stepping with Marcus J. live from the Den Legacy Internet Radio. This numerology is something that we can do a whole show. We can do a whole 2 hours, 3 hour show on it. But we got to end it there because we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we're going to pick up with some more light workers. But we're going to talk about astrology. And I'm looking forward to that, and I'm sure the room is as well. Facebook Live, I'm going to shut you down, bring you back. Marcus J. and the crew, and you be back in a few.
Hey, this is Warren Ballantyne, the number one truth writer in America, and I'm listening to my man, my brother, Marcus J. right here on Legacy Internet Radio.
holistic care for the mind, body, and spirit. Free Spirit Enterprises, LLC is a parent company for Organic Creations, Jewelry by Design, Miller Publishing, and Consultation Services. Organic Creations offers you the best in natural, homemade skin and hair care products. Jewelry by Design allows you, the customer, to design your own jewelry as it is custom made just for you. Thinking of self-publishing a book or novel? Check out Miller Publishing and Consultation Services. Free Spirit Enterprises is where holistic care meets mind, body, and spirit. Visit us at freespiritenterprisesco.biz. That's Freespiritenterprisesco.biz. Or you can call 804-252-6562. Like us on Facebook under Free Spirit Enterprises, LLC.